Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Smearing India for political gains, India hits back at Canada over its person of interest charges. Tension rises as Taiwan condemns Chinese military drills around the island as unreasonable provocation. US-based academics Darren Acemoglu, Simon Johnson and James Robinson win 2024 Nobel Economics Prize. India has slammed Canada. India's External Affairs Ministry in a statement has said that it received a diplomatic communication from Canada on Sunday suggesting that the Indian High Commissioner and other diplomats are persons of interest in a matter related to an investigation in that country. In response, the Indian ministry has said the Government of India strongly rejects the preposterous imputations and ascribes them to the political agenda of Justin Trudeau government that is centered around vote bank politics. The ministry also said that some individuals who have entered Canada illegally have been fast-tracked for citizenship, and multiple extradition requests from the Government of India in respect of terrorist and organized crime leaders living in Canada have been disregarded. The Government of India has taken cognizance of the activities of Canadian High Commission in India that serve the political agenda of the current regime. India now reserves the right to take further steps in response to these latest efforts of the Canadian government to concoct allegations against Indian diplomats.
Canada and its government led by Prime Minister Trudeau has repeatedly thrown accusations against India, the Indian officials, and this time against the Indian High Commissioner, while endangering their lives. We have seen the last time what they did, that the posters of the Indian ambassador and consul general were published by the separatist and terrorist elements in Canada, which is quite ridiculous actually for a responsible state to do so, just for myopic political ends. They have brought in a large number of disgruntled elements and made them prosper as terrorist and extremist groups within their own country, and trying to use Canada as the base for separatist activities out of India.
India followed the world in 4G network, but now the country would lead the globe in 6G network, announced the Minister for Communications at the India Leadership Summit 2024 held in Delhi. Speaking at US-India supply chains, harnessing digital connectivity through advanced telecommunication, the minister spoke out how India has joint steps in the field of telecommunication. DD India correspondent Vishal Baristo reports.
Addressing the gathering at the summit, the Indian Minister for Communications said that both India and the United States believe in freedom, innovations, and doing things that would benefit the world.
If you look at broadband, which is greater than 2 GB, we had just about 60 million broadband connections in India 10 years ago. Today we have 940 million broadband connections in India. On the other hand, if you look at the cost structure, the cost of a voice call was 50 paise 10 years ago. It's today 3 paise. So there's been a 96% drop in costs on voice.
Highlighting on the use of telecom sector in serving the nation, the minister spoke about the vision of the Prime Minister of India.
Prime Minister always said, don't build towers, build quality of service. Do not look at only supplying service to people. Become a product nation. Do not think of telecom as an end product. Think of it as a means to supplying service.
The minister spoke about the digital revolution in the country with 510 million given bank accounts for direct benefit transfer. With 5G coming in, the government is looking at a lot of novel ideas, he said. Vishal Baristo's report for DD India.
The world gaming industry is about $3 billion and India has a share of only one PC. But here is an opportunity for India to go for the sky. At the India Leadership Summit 2024 in Delhi, DD India correspondent Prasar Bharati caught up with the co-founder of Winzo to find out more.
Indian Prime Minister gave a clarion call that India can do much better in the gaming industry, and I have with me Pawan Nanda. He is the co-founder of Winzo, and I am here at the India-US Strategic Partnership Forum. Pawan, first of all, you've taken up this clarion call very seriously.
So we started Winzo back in 2018 with a mission to make it Winzo India's largest social gaming platform. But over the last 1 year or so, we've seen how the Honorable Prime Minister himself has given a clarion call that India should not only be the largest consumer of games, but Indian companies and entrepreneurs should also be the biggest creator of games for the world, right? And we have been actually working in this field for some time now.
When we talk about this industry itself, how big is this industry and are there any limits?
It's a huge industry. Globally, gaming is about $300 billion. India contributes to about 20% user base. So if we can translate this 20% users into value, then it is about a $60 billion opportunity we are talking about.
When we talk about India-US opportunities, how do you see this sector growing as far as this partnership is concerned?
US is the biggest gaming market. We feel that Indian entrepreneurs and gaming companies can consider exporting their products and take a large share of US market as well.
So there you heard, Pawan, sky is the limit as far as this industry is concerned, and India definitely can play a major role, and US is the market that Indian companies are looking at. With cameraman Saurabh in Delhi, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
China on Monday launched military drills around Taiwan, sending jets and warships that encircled the island. With the drill, Beijing said it aimed at sending a stern warning to separatist forces on the island. This is the fourth round of large-scale drill in the past 2 years without declaring an end date. Chinese media reported that People's Liberation Army conducted the exercise to test the capability of its troops to coordinate across multiple arenas, mount systematic attacks and launch precision strikes. In a statement, the Chinese Military Eastern Theater Command said the Joint Sword 2024B drills were taking place in the Taiwan Strait and areas to the north, south and east of Taiwan. It further stated its ships and aircrafts are approaching Taiwan in close proximity from different directions, focusing on sea-air combat readiness patrols, blockading key ports and areas, assaulting maritime and ground targets and joint seizure of comprehensive superiority. In response, Taiwan has parked the Mirage 2000 fighter jets at Hsinchu Air Base, condemning China's drills. Taiwan's National Security Council and Foreign Minister said Taiwan remains moderate and will peace and stability in the region.
This morning, China announced that it has carried out Joint Sword 2024B drills. This announcement came at 5 a.m. local time. This action did not comply with the international regulation that requires one to make an early announcement before a drill, and threatening another country with military power also contradicts with the UN Charter that emphasizes peaceful settlement of disputes. I am sure the international community and our people will have their own opinion of China's action.
Taiwan is monitoring China's military drills by watching the movement of China's rocket force, calling China's move irrational and provocative. Taiwan's defense ministry said it has raised the alert posture on outlying islands and called the exercise an attempt to jeopardize the security situation in the Taiwan Strait. India is all set to host one of the most significant global events in telecommunications, the World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly 2024. This prestigious event will take place in New Delhi from October 15th to 24th, bringing together over 3,000 industry leaders, policymakers and tech experts from over 190 countries. Secretary for the Department of Telecommunications, Dr. Neeraj Mittal, speaks exclusively to DD India's correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya.
Prime Minister is inaugurating this huge event. The first time this is happening, not just in India, but the whole Pacific region. Tell us more information about this and how this is expected to be a major game changer, not just for, again, India, but for the world.
Honorable Prime Minister has already set the vision for Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliance in technology. India has possibly amongst the handful of countries which has developed its own 4G stack. The Prime Minister also said that India has to be a leader in not only 4G but 5G, which we have already rolled out at the fastest pace in the world. And then all about going to the next level of innovation, which is 6G. And this WTSA will be setting all standards and setting the path forward for this revolutionary technology.
So, what is the number of people who are coming here? We believe that this is a record number that has come. Foreign dignitaries, foreign ministers and industry leaders are coming here.
So, we have roughly about 157 countries who have come here. We have large delegations from countries. We have about more than, I think, about 40 ministers who are joining us here. More than about 3,000 people who have come here. This is also paired with the India Mobile Congress, which is the great India's technology show in Asia Pacific region, which brings together policymakers, academicians, R&D, MSMEs all together. So this is a great sandwich event which we are doing for showcasing India's prowess.
You mentioned 6G. That's something that a lot of people are not talking about. Are we ready to take the step forward? And how do you see, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision aligning with the providing that digital infrastructure, public infrastructure?
So Telecom is an enabler for all technological innovations, be it telecommunication between people, maybe improving the productivity of industry, maybe creating use cases in the rural areas for health, education, digital financial inclusion, identity systems, pension systems. All of them actually highly depend on a very sophisticated telecom system. And we are fortunate that India has one of the most robust systems in the world. And 6G will bring in new capability. We intend to be pioneers and leaders in this technology. We have already developed domestic 5G solutions, and we are already working on 6G solutions. We have sanctioned a lot of projects on the emerging 6G technologies.
Much appreciated time. So that was Dr. Neeraj Mittal, Secretary Telecommunications, stating that India is on the cusp of making big in 6G technology. With camera person Gaurav Giri, this is Tapash Bhattacharya for GD India from Delhi.
Germany has been struggling with a weak economy for the better of 2 years now. And a look at latest numbers worries experts once again. Lars Holter is with Deutsche Welle and joins me from Berlin. Lars, what can you tell us?
Thanks for having me. Well, the latest numbers we're looking at come from a survey among German companies, and it seems that insolvencies are up drastically. In fact, the number of companies filing for bankruptcy is up almost 14% for the month of September, and it has actually been rising by double digits every single month for over a year now, with one exception this past summer. So we're not looking at a few rough weeks or months here. We're looking at a major trend of companies going under, and there is obviously one major reason for it. The German economy is generally not doing well, and we just found out too last week the government sees economic activity down 0.2% for the current year, and that is following down 0.3% last year, and more importantly, it's weaker than we had.
So what problems are plaguing Germany most, if you could just tell us?
So there are definitely some major problems, like two wars, still high energy prices tied to at least the one in Ukraine. There's a weak economy over in China that's having a strong negative effect on Germany as a nation that heavily relies on exports. There's the weakness in the auto sector, but there's also some homemade problems, because you see, high energy prices technically affect other markets too, and other countries are also selling goods to China. However, other major economies like the US and also other European economies are currently doing quite a bit better. This company, a survey is telling us that one of the stumbling blocks for many companies is Germany's exorbitant level of bureaucracy. Too many rules and regulations that often exact a toll on especially small and medium-sized companies that they can't handle. Now, what's really worrisome, rising levels of insolvencies, of course, will weaken Germany's economy some more, with an estimated 20,000 insolvencies expected to be filed this year.
All right, we leave it there. Thank you so much. And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. US is deploying an advanced US anti-missile system THAAD in defense of Israel. North Korea warns Seoul of a horrible disaster if South Korean drones fly over Pyongyang.
Welcome to Jaipur.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. The US is deploying an advanced US anti-missile system known as Terminal High Altitude Area Defense or THAAD missile battery along with its military personnel to Israel. It's a highly unusual deployment meant to bolster Israel's air defenses following missile attacks by Iran. Pentagon spokesperson described the deployment as part of the broader adjustments in the US military has made in recent months to support Israel and defend US personnel from attacks by Iran and Iranian-backed groups. But a US military deployment to Israel is rare outside of drills, given Israel's own military capabilities. A THAAD battery usually requires about 100 troops to operate from ground. It counts 6 truck-mounted launchers with 8 interceptors on each launcher and a powerful radar. The launch weapon can achieve a speed of 6,300 mph and it has range of 200 kilometers. Other specifications include its mass, which is 900 kilograms. It has a length of 20 feet and 3 inches. The booster has a diameter of 13 inch, while the kill vehicle is 15 inch broad. It deploys kinetic kill technology, which destroys missiles by colliding. Lockheed Martin, the biggest US arms maker, builds and integrates the THAAD system, which is designed to shoot down short, medium and intermediate range ballistic missiles. Raytheon under RTX built its advanced radar. The Pentagon said a THAAD was deployed to southern Israel for drills in 2019, the last and only time it was known to be there. Updates on West Asia conflict now. Israel's military said a Hezbollah drone has killed 4 soldiers at one of its northern bases on Sunday. The attack on military training camp near Haifa is the deadliest such assault on an Israeli base since September 23rd, when Israel increased its attacks on Hezbollah in Lebanon. Emergency services reported more than 60 wounded. The incident occurred reportedly after the Israeli military detected 5 projectiles launched from Lebanon. Sirens were activated in several regions, including Galilee, Haifa Bay and Carmel. Hezbollah late on Sunday said it launched a squadron of attack drones at Israel's Binyamina camp. The strike was in response to Israeli attacks, including airstrikes on Thursday in central Beirut. In a later statement, Hezbollah warned Israel with more attacks if its offensive in Lebanon continued. Iran said on Sunday that it was ready for war but did not seek it as the West Asia remained on high alert. During a news conference with his Iraqi counterpart in Baghdad, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Iran wants peace but is prepared for any kind of circumstances conflict escalates.
We are prepared for any kind of circumstances. We are ready for war, but we are also ready for peace. This is the definitive stance of the Islamic Republic. We are entirely ready for a military conflict. We are not afraid of war, but we do not wish for war. We want peace and we will seek a just peace in Lebanon and Gaza.
North Korea has warned Seoul of a horrible disaster if South Korean drones are found flying over Pyongyang. North Korea's artillery units near the border have been ordered to be ready to fire. North Korea has blamed the South Korean military for the practice. It has also been floating balloons with trash into South in reprisal. On Friday, North Korea accused South Korea of sending drones into Pyongyang at night this week and last and said that intrusion demanded retaliatory action. Meanwhile, South Korea neither confirmed nor denied it, however warned of severe consequences. South Korea's military spokesperson claimed North Korean troops were working under camouflage to blow up roads near the west and east coast's border of South Korea. Last week, North Korea's army said it would completely cut roads and railways connected to South Korea.
We have identified covers being set up on roads with work being conducted behind them. Preparations are being made to blow up those roads. It's possible that this could happen as early as today, and as North Korea has publicized, they may proceed with the explosions.
US-based academics Darren Acemoglu, Simon Johnson and James Robinson won the 2024 Nobel Economics Prize for their research on how institutions shape prosperity. The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences announced the prize on Monday, valued 11 million Swedish crowns for US dollars 1.1 million. The award highlights the crucial role of societal institutions in reducing income disparities between countries. This award is the final Nobel Prize for the year.
The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences has decided to award Sveriges Riksbanksprize in Economic Sciences in memory of Alfred Nobel for 2024 to Darren Acemoglu, MIT, Cambridge, USA, Simon Johnson, MIT, Cambridge, USA, and James Robinson, University of Chicago, USA, for studies of how institutions are formed and affect prosperity.
India's lower house Speaker Om Birla addressed the Assembly on theme harnessing science, technology and innovation for a more peaceful and sustainable future at the 149th Assembly of Inter-Parliamentary Union in Geneva. He expressed hope that through the forum like the IPU, parliaments would be able to pave the way for inclusive development in the world through shared action plans and joint efforts. He called for convergence of technological advancements, scientific research and innovative approaches. Speaking on climate change and energy security, he added India's renewable energy capacity has increased from 76 gigawatt to 203 gigawatt in the last decade. He also noted that the issues of climate change and sustainable development goals had been discussed at length in Parliament. Mentioning about India's thrust on science, technology and innovation, Birla noted India had become the third largest startup nation in the world. Referring to India's unprecedented use of technology, he illustrated how digitization of financial services benefited millions through direct benefit transfer. Lok Sabha Speaker urged that issues related to regulations in the field of technology and safeguarding data privacy of citizens should be discussed in the IPU forum as well as in national parliaments. On to sports now. New Zealand will face Pakistan in Group A match of Women's T20 World Cup in Dubai with semi-final spot at stake. Kiwis need to win the game against Pakistan if they want to qualify for the knockout stage. A loss would mean India get to the semi-final spot. Earlier, New Zealand recovered from heavy defeat against Australia and registered an important win against Sri Lanka to remain strong contenders for the last four spot. On the other hand, in fact, Pakistan will also have an outside chance of qualifying for the semi-finals if they manage to thrash New Zealand by a huge margin. A will ensure that Pakistan has 4 points like India and New Zealand. Pakistan started their campaign with a win against Sri Lanka but slumped to defeats against India and Australia. The Board of Control for Cricket in India, or the BCCI, has announced the fixtures for the upcoming 3-match one-day series between India and women's team and New Zealand. The first match will be played on October 24th, while second and third matches will take place on October 27th and 29th respectively. All matches of this series will be held at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. They are part of the ICC Women's Championship. That's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.